The thing that comes to mind for me too, man, is Gary Vaynerchuk is very well known for launching his NFTs and his VFriends and all that kind of stuff. And I know when he first started doing it, he was just showing doodles and everybody's like, okay, all right, well, whatever, man, like they're okay. But then he started sharing like why he was doing this. And it was just his creativity coming out, because he said, I've been doodling like this forever and I'm not a professional artist, but at the same time, they're not bad. And we can sell these in NFT formats and wrap it around the blockchain and all that kind of stuff. But his future vision is literally to create Disney. Like, he wants to create TV shows. He wants to create YouTube channels. And that's actually a good transition into what we'll talk about here too. But that, for example, that requires somebody with a creative brain to not only see what's going to work now to get people into my dentist's office so I can make more money now, but also how can I create an emotional connection to that then has this exponential possibility to grow into its own thing in so many different ways, whether it's clothing lines or whatever. Even the sweater that you're wearing right now, it's kind of like that, right? Like, we were talking about the person that created that sweater and how he was involved with Kanye, and great artwork and creativity lasts the test of time, and it evolves and changes as technology changes. It's such a cool thing, such a cool thing. And I want you to speak about the song heroes. So as it kind of relates to that, because that was another key piece of what I wanted to talk to you about, and one of the lead-ins to why I asked you to even do this interview too, because I saw, dude, that's cool what you got going on there. You want to maybe to explain to everybody the inspiration behind that and what it actually is? And then I'll make sure I link it up as well.
Yeah, sure. So Song Heroes is really just a culmination of all of my creative and analytical and marketing experience coming together. My wife always told me, you should make kids music. You should try to make some kids music. And my concept of what kids music was at the time, I was like, there's no way I'm making that, because I can't stand that kind of music. And
Baby Shark.
Yeah, totally.
Coco Melon. I can recite all of them for you, man. I can even sing them for you if you want.
We're in the same stage, man. And although my kids still love that, until I had kids, I didn't understand what the potential could be. And then I had kids and I was like, oh, hold on a second. There's a pain point here, which is I love listening to music with my kids, except I want to listen to something that I want to listen to without the kind of vulgar content that you would hear in a regular Billboard charting song, right? And because of my experience in music, I know that the only difference between something that Cardi B does or Dua Lipa does that resonates with a large group of people is the content itself, the lyrics themselves, and the images themselves. They can't be shown to kids, right? But the musicality, the groove, the rhythm, the top lines, the melodies, if you just switch the words out, you would get content that kids could enjoy as well. And just my own, I have a obsession with just solving problems. And so I just thought, well, why don't I just try this? And it was like during COVID, things were like kind of shutting down. I was like, okay, let me just get back into music. It was therapeutic for me. I was like basically coming to the end of the Republic's deal, so I could see the window of like my master plan coming into full play, which is eventually bringing in a strategic partner for the business so that I could eventually go and do things that I really want to and have always loved to and want to do, just for me, not for commerce, not for anything else, any other reason. And so I saw that window of opportunity opening, and so I started making beats again. I started writing again. I started getting schooled back on like all the different tips and tricks on mixing, mastering, marketing music. And it just became fun. Like, I just started doing it for fun. And the other kind of component of it, as the vision started to come through, was like, oh, wait a second, we could, again, my story mind and applying all the things we do at Noodle Wave to this, was like, oh, we could tell a story here. I was like, so why don't I create characters out of my family?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's so cool how you did that.
So each one of my family members, so my wife, my two boys, and my dog, are the song heroes, essentially, and I characterize them into these little superhero characters. And the concept is that the song hero characters help teach the learning components of the song. So whether that's a song about the ABCs, or I'm a T-Rex, or we just did one, we launched a new song today actually called TikTok. So it's telling kids about time and the value of time. And that was the kind of vision behind it. So But at the core of all of that, even if it doesn't get any traction or no one else sees it, the main reason why I wanted to do this was for exactly the same reason that you're doing this podcast, which is I wanted to give my kids a template for what's possible with your imagination if you just put action to your imagination, your thoughts, your creativity. Because everyone's had $1 million idea in the shower, right? Everybody. Guarantee it. It's just that they didn't do anything with it, right? And so the action component of your creativity is the most important part. And so especially my oldest boy, he's been part of the process with me. He saw me recording little melodies on my phone, then writing the lyrics, then art directing all the characters, then working with the animator to bring them to life, then polishing off and having the final song recorded, and then the full video released, and then seeing other people enjoy it. Like, that trajectory will forever be etched into his mind of what is humanly possible with just a thought or idea. And although my parents, probably not intentionally, as immigrant parents, gave me that same template, but for entrepreneurship, because they immigrated here from Korea. No one would hire them or give them a job. So what did they have to do? They had to start their own businesses. And although it was a means of survival, it was probably the single most important thing that they gave me without realizing they gave it to me, was a template for, oh, wait a second, in that moment where I can't find a job, okay, I'll just start a business. Like, that doesn't enter people's minds if they're not given the template. And so it's the same kind of concept that I'm trying to give the boys, which is that template for creativity, because now that also, as you mentioned, is the business where content creates tons of different revenue streams for all kinds of business ventures.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch the full unedited episode, go ahead and click over here. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. Thanks so much.